So, Berto, we recently sent out a survey to all the patrons, and they filled it out, and I asked them a bunch of questions about their preferences. And one of the things that I saw in the data was that the patrons, some of them hate the Tougher Bluff episodes, while some of them really like the Tougher Bluff episodes. Yeah. And also, some indicated they hated it when we talked about Star Wars.
Oh.
And then another group said they loved it when we talked about Star Wars.
Wow.
So today we're going to do Tougher Bluffs.
Star Wars.
And we're going to do Star Wars. And that's just the way it is. So if you don't like those things, then you can skip it.
Well, but I wonder if it's the same Venn diagram, like if it's the same people.
Yeah. This is the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I have a cough, and I might be coughing occasionally. I am a professor, a cougher, and a therapist.
My name is Humberto Castañeda, and I'm just starting a new project on a wall. I can't talk about it much. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. We're going to be laying some bricks starting soon.
What's huge? I thought it was
huge.
Huge. All right, I'm going to do a Star Wars Tougher Bluff. You gave me this book, actually.
I know. I'm obsessed with Star Wars.
And it's your birthday. Yep. Let's sing a happy birthday to Berto. I gave him a gift, which was a Jar Jar Binks mask.
That's right, and I love it.
This isn't Tougher Bluff. This is just Star Wars questions, actually.
Okay.
Who was jokingly called Wormy as a youngster?
Wormy as a youngster?
Was it Luke, Han, Leia, or Owen Lars?
Wait, is this like some, like, you have to have read all the comic books?
Probably.
Owen Lars.
It was Luke.
Luke was called Wormy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was Luke planning to pick up at Toshi Station?
But I gotta go to Toshi Station to pick up some power converters!
Oh my god, you're so good. Who taught Han Solo to understand Shriwook, which I'm guessing is a Wookiee language?
Chewbacca.
Nope.
No?
Nope. It says Dulana.
Okay.
I think some of these you have to.
Yeah, you have to like be in the extended universe. There's no like watch the movies and you'll know.
Princess Leia traveled to Katata for talks regarding giving aid to Realtor. With whom did she speak? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Bread knife incident.
Mia Ilkova.
Yeah, that's right. Anna Kournikova. I knew it.
Some of these questions are kind of BS, man. What had Obi-Wan Kenobi come to be known as on Tatooine?
Oh, Ben? Old Ben Kenobi?
Yeah, this is Ben. What galaxy-renowned professor taught history to Princess Leia Organa?
Oh my god. I mean, I think if you know the answer, it's a fair question.
Where did Luke Skywalker race his Skyhopper?
I was is that no? That's not shooting T. It's a. But I did that shooting Wampa or shooting. What was the? Oh man, but that's not the same thing though. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, or no, the Desert Plain. Anyway,
I don't know.
Who was referred to as a crazy old hermit by the locals?
That's Ben Kenobi.
Yeah. On what planet did Darth Vader's evil scientist accidentally release a lethal bioagent? Oh, you gave me this book, by the way.
I know, but I mean, like, I didn't say use it against me.
Who said to Princess Leia, "I care"?
Oh, of
course. Or "I care"?
No, I care. The I care. Yeah, it's like. I care. Luke said it. Her brother.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because you know, it's like I'm gonna paraphrase, but I wonder if he cares about anything or anyone. And he's like, I care.
Who said I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board?
Princess Leia.
Who was one of the last Jedi to be struck down by Darth Vader before the Battle of Yavin?
Oh, before the Battle of Yavin? One of the last Jedi to be struck down would have been Obi-Wan.
Yeah, there we go. It says the Dark Woman.
Oh, what?
Who's that?
Before the Battle of Yavin?
Who exclaimed, "He's the brains, sweetheart"?
Oh, he's the brains, sweet. Well, I mean, it's Han.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember who's the brains. Is it?
I think it's Chewie.
Oh, he's the brains, sweetheart. Okay.
Let's see. What was Grand Moff Tarkin's first name? Was it Maurice, Wilhelm, Vilhuff, or Moriz?
Oh, come on. It's Wilhelm.
It's Vil Huff.
Oh, sorry, Vilhuff. That's what I meant.
Who said, if he gets a translator, be sure it speaks Bocce.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's Uncle Owen.
Yeah.
If we get a translator, make sure he speaks Bocce.
What was Jabba the Hutt's homeworld?
It's not Tatooine?
Nal Hutta.
Oh.
To whom did Han Solo say, you're a wonderful human being?
To Lando.
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, of course. Oh, Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. And he's like chilly because he just woke up from carbon freeze.
What was Grand Moff Tarkin's impression of Princess Leia aboard the Death Star?
Like this. I'm Princess Leia and I'm a uppity. No. He felt she would never talk.
Well, no, what he says a thing about her. I think as she's like being carted off or something.
Oh.
He says, charming to the last.
Charming to the... Okay.
I don't really remember that, but...
Right.
Okay.
But you got to admit, my impression of Grand Moff Tarkin doing an impression was pretty good.
Tougher bluff. Children who participated in risky activities such as climbing, jumping, rough play, and exploring alone displayed greater physical and social health. Children who participated in risky activities displayed greater physical and social health. Tough or bluff.
Were those risky activities by themselves?
No, one of them was exploring alone.
Oh, okay.
But the other ones are climbing, jumping, rough play.
Yeah, I'll say tough.
It's true. Why would you think that's
I
tough?
think that by doing some risky activities early on, they might have seen that they can self-express, that they can, take some risks and they won't fail necessarily, or they might have gotten to fail and seen that it was okay, and that might have given them the courage and the self-confidence to, integrate better and socialize better and things like that.
Interesting. Tougher bluff. People with cynical beliefs about others will earn less money in the future. People with cynical beliefs about others will earn less money in the future. Tougher bluff. What do you think?
I would say tough, but I'm going to go bluff.
Why?
So I would say tough because I actually feel like a lot of the people that make the most money are always very cynical about others. Like, I'm thinking like Wall Street sharks. They're like, oh, that guy, but they're still making a ton of money. But I'm going to go with bluff because I feel like if you're so focused on others, you're not going to be making as much money.
It's tough. People with cynical beliefs about others will earn less money in the future. I think you
I had them backwards. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're cynical about other people, you tend to have less money. You tend to have less money in the future. Now, this is one of those classic correlation does not mean causation situations.
Sure.
Now,
you might have less money because you might be cynical because you have less money.
Right. Or cynical beliefs about others could indicate trauma or having been raised in a family that was difficult or having been harmed by other human beings. And we all know that leads to more difficulties.
So it's not as simple as like, hey, stop being cynical and you'll make more money.
Right. But we might be able to speculate that if you have a rosy idea about other human beings, it might lead to behaviors and social situations that might lead to getting better jobs or more opportunities, which I can totally imagine. Because when I think about people who are extremely negative in general, and particularly about other human beings, I don't see them networking and getting to know their coworkers as well as the others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see that.
So to avoid coughing, I'm gonna talk real
down,
real quiet.
I like the sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. Tougher bluff, Berto.
Okay.
Recent research found no correlation between teenage depression and anger and future romantic relationships.
Ooh.
No correlation.
No correlation.
Between depression and anger as a teen. And future romantic relationships.
No. That's bluff. That's bluff.
This is Tougher Bluff.
This is Tougher Bluff.
Midnight edition.
I'm saying bluff, man.
You're right.
Yeah,
the researchers followed 341 people for 25 years, which is quite an endeavor.
Yeah.
And found that negative emotions that the participants experienced as young adults appeared to have adversely affected their intimate relationships in middle age.
Or it's the fact that they're like, dude, you've been following me for 25 years. I'm trying to have a relationship here.
They also found that higher perceived life stress at age 32 was associated with less adaptive interactions and increased relationship problems at age 43.
Wow.
Berto, do you have any news or what's going on in your life? Tell me.
All right. Well, let's see. First of all, I'm sort of in shock about everything that's been happening, as many people are. Also, I'm also excited about a few things happening this year.
Yeah.
There are many movies and shows coming back, and cool, things like that. Well, there's obviously episode 8. They released a poster. It's got Star Wars in red letters. That's, something.
So what do you think is going to happen?
What's the Final Jedi or the Last Jedi or something like that?
You don't like to speculate.
I'm okay speculating. I just don't like reading. Because what happens is this: if it were really just like us, we haven't read anything, we're just speculating. Great, but a lot of times online, it's like, well, I saw the script or I saw this leaked thing, and I don't want that, But I will say, just from me, I haven't read the books, I haven't just watched the movies. What I'm saying is, I was wrong before when I was younger to think that the Return of the Jedi was about Luke. Seems like it was more about Anakin. Okay. So now I'm not going to make the same mistake the other way around, because they want us to believe that it's the final Jedi might be Luke. But I'm saying, no, the Last Jedi is not Luke.
But he is the Last Jedi.
Well, I'm going to say right now he's the Last Jedi, but that's not who they're talking about.
Who are they talking about?
They're talking about Kylo Ren.
He's not a Jedi.
He will be.
Oh. Well, now that's strange. But do you think that Luke will die in this one?
I hope not, man. I don't want another Force ghosty.
Well, I think Luke's going to die because it just makes sense.
No, but they killed Han. They're going to have to kill Leia, right? But Leia's going to have to die somehow.
But they need episode 9 to have Rey and Finn and Kylo isolated. You know what I mean?
I think they were going to kill Luke, and now they can't.
Why?
Because Leia's gone.
Yeah. Well, Leia's got to die, obviously.
Yeah. They have to have Luke, man.
Maybe Leia and Luke will die together.
Oh, Luke's going to survive. He's the Last Jedi. I'm just reversing my position. He's the Last Jedi.
I mean, the obvious interpretation is Rey will be the Last Jedi. Or Luke will be the Last Jedi, he'll die, and then Rey will become something else.
I want Rey to be a good, light side Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But everyone is saying that she's actually Palpatine's descendant.
Yeah. And people are also saying that Finn is descendant from the only other
Lando?
No, from the only other black person.
Whom?
From what's his face? From Mace Windu.
Oh, Mace Windu. No, that's ridiculous.
Other people are also saying that Snoke is Mace Windu.
Oh, come on. I give up. So see, this is why I didn't want to go down this route. Like, why? Why this is unnecessary?
What else are you looking forward to this year?
Okay, so there's Star Wars. Hey, there's an Oscar party coming up. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
I've seen all of them except for Fences, and I'm going to see.
Oh, did they announce them already?
Yesterday.
Oh shoot, I got to catch up. So I've not seen almost any of them. So
you got to see Moonlight. That's the one
I have to see that. So I'm a little annoyed, frankly, about La La Land. I've now crossed over into annoyed. Before, I was like, okay, it won its Golden Globes because I liked it.
You didn't seem like you liked it. As we were driving away, you seemed pretty down on it.
I just didn't think it was a good musical because it didn't have great songs or memorable songs.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I liked the movie. I enjoyed my time. I would watch it again. But as soon as everyone started going bananas and nominating it 14 times and stuff, then I started feeling like I felt when I saw Titanic. When I saw it, I liked it. And then pretty soon I started distancing myself from it because everyone was watching it 20 times and it was kind of like too much. Okay. I will say that I bet you if I saw all the other contenders, I'm probably going to find another one that's my favorite. And I can already think of at least one that I liked better already.
What?
If it came out last year, which is the one I recently saw. I'm blanking here.
Not Split.
Oh, is that? No, not Split. No, there was something else I saw that was really good. Well, anyways, I've heard great things about Moonlight. That's probably going to be one of them. I bet you I'll like that one better.
Yeah, I think it's powerful. and I hope it wins. I wonder if it'll win. Arrival? Did you like Arrival?
Oh, that's the one. Arrival. I loved Arrival.
Okay. Hacksaw Ridge, you see that?
No, I have not.
That one does not deserve.
I didn't even wait, that got nominated?
Yeah, that one does not deserve to be Best Picture. I mean, it's a okay movie, but it's it's nothing moving. I mean, it's moving, but I don't know.
Now listen, people are gonna absolutely kill me for this, but in terms of flat entertainment value, just flat entertainment value, I was a lot more entertained in Rogue One than I was in La La Land.
Yeah.
But I know it's unfair to compare them and blah, blah. But is it unfair? Is it unfair to compare them? Is it just because, well, one of them is artsy and they danced, but I should be able to compare them.
Yeah.
I shouldn't feel guilty.
They'll never give Rogue One or a movie.
No, I know. And it shouldn't. Rogue One should not win an Oscar, Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah. Hell or High Water, great movie.
I heard that was really good. I got to watch that.
It's an instant classic. Hidden Figures. It's
That one was nominated.
Total
I
Oscar
haven't
bait.
seen that one.
And it's good. It's okay. It's similar to Hacksaw Ridge. It's a real story that is moving, but it's not,
You know what else I'm excited for, by the way? The new Zelda game coming for the new Nintendo system.
Ooh.
What's it called? The Split?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what they call that.
The Diff. I don't know what it's called. But
the Edge or something?
No, I'm terrible. But anyways, I'm excited about that. It looks cool. I haven't played Zelda. I've missed the last 2 Zelda installments, and I feel terrible.
It looks like Skyrim Zelda.
Yeah, Sky Zelda. Zeldrim.
Lion, have you seen that?
Oh, I know what it is, and I have not, but I want to. Do you know
it's okay.
Yeah.
Again, real story. The first half an hour is just about this kid who gets like kind of lost, and he's trying to find his family.
One of my friends consulted for that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he works for for Google Earth.
Oh, okay, right. So Google Earth plays kind of a big role.
Yeah.
And in the movie, the first half an hour was riveting. And this kid, he's so cute, and the things he go through seem so real in Bangladesh, and it's heartbreaking, and you're just like, oh my God, this is so terrible. It's sort of like Slumdog Millionaire when they're kids, but then there's this middle part, which basically is the rest of the movie, where it's just interesting kind of as a period piece and a little suspenseful, but just boring.
Oh, okay.
Because there's no plot. It's like there's no...
Okay.
It's a fascinating story, but, it gets... I almost fell asleep, actually, in the middle, which I never do. I'm not a movie sleeper.
I sleep in movies lately. Do you know that I have not watched Captain Marvel? Or Captain
America?
No, neither. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. I was like Captain Strange. No, Captain. No,
why? Because you keep falling asleep?
Yeah, I've watched it twice, and both times I fell asleep.
Wow.
Once with you.
Manchester by the Sea.
I want to see that.
That's really good too. I could see how people wouldn't like this movie. Similar, Moonlight and Manchester by the Sea are similar movies in that they're very moving but subtle. Like there's neither one of them have like guns and shootouts and drama.
Oh, that's sad.
It's just intensity and grief and masculinity and pain.
But do they dance on cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
The reason I think people loved Mad Max and La La Land is because in both movies they dance on cars.
I've never, I played Zelda when it first came out on...
You mean the old Zelda?
NES?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And loved that game. And I remember it was one of the first games you could save.
Yeah.
Because it was so long, you couldn't... For you young people out there was a time when you played video games, you couldn't save it.
You start at the beginning.
Yeah.
As far as you get.
So the first Super Mario Brothers game, if you wanted to get to the end, you had to commit.
Play through it.
You had to play through it. And so by the time I got pretty good, me and my younger brother would sit in front of our tiny little 14-inch TV and play Super Mario and try to, slog through that. And we didn't have the internet, so we didn't know all the secret passages.
Oh, of course not, yeah.
Because did you know, you can basically finish Super Mario only having gone through like 5 levels.
Yeah, because you can go through the negative world and all these things.
Yeah, which we did not know about. And so we went through almost, I think there was like 1 or 2 levels that we could sort of jump through, but the rest of them, you know. And then when Zelda came out, they were like, well, obviously you have to save the game, right? And the way you saved it, if I remember right, was you said, I want to save it. And they didn't save it. It actually gave you a code.
No, you're thinking of Metroid. Metroid gave you the code. Zelda had the 3 save slots with the little hearts.
Oh, okay.
But
Metroid.
Metroid gave you the code.
Yeah, so Metroid gave you like it seemed to me like a 25 character.
It was long,
yeah, 25 character code, and you had to write it down perfectly.
And then you had to enter it with the little gamepad. It's not like you had a keyboard.
Right. And I think the code was just like inside that, you know, string of characters was basically like he's on this level.
Yeah.
He has this much health.
That's right.
And, you know, that's all it was.
Yeah. It was just a byte string.
Just like a hack kind of, you know, it wasn't an actual save. It was just
that's right.
a way of working around that.
It is, in fact, what they would have written to a disc, you know?
Yeah.
But instead, they're like, well, you write it.
Yeah. It occurs to me that we're still podcasting right now, and I'm sure we're annoying several people.
Well, did I tell you about how I used to play Contra? Remember Contra? With my friend Paul.
Yeah.
And I was so terrible that do you remember you could do the code, the Konami code to get 30 lives?
I never played. I only played Contra, I think, on stand-up.
Okay. Well, on the NES, you could do the code, get the 30 lives. We would do that, so we would both have 30 lives. I would go through all of my 30, and then I could eat into his. I would go through all of my 30 and 29 of his and die and watch him finish the game. It was so depressing, dude.
You could take someone else's lives?
Yeah, in that one. You could just start eating into their reserve.
That's funny.
So it was, you know, I didn't play these kinds of games until I moved here, and then he had been playing for a bit, but he was also a lot better than me. So I would sit there and he's like, okay, here, let's do the code. And it was just so depressing because I would inevitably die. And then I'd have to sit there for another 10 minutes watching him finish the game by himself.
What did Contra stand for? Was it like for...
Iran Contra? I don't know.
Yeah,
the Contra Rebels.
Yeah, is that what it was about?
It is kind of like in the jungles of like Latin America and stuff.
Yeah.
Contra, well, Contra, it's like against, you know, the rebels, guerrillas.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year in some ways, and I'm also dreading it in others. So I can relate to that. I guess mostly I'm just curious to see what is going to happen.
Yep.
And since I tend to see the world in optimistic ways, I'm starting to see people become activists who wouldn't otherwise.
That's true.
There was the Women's March, and a lot of women marched.
Yeah.
A lot of men marched too. People that I don't usually see getting up in arms about a political stance.
Like nowhere near as many people as went to the inauguration, but you know, lots.
Yeah. You know, like the 99 percenters.
Yeah.
That was like a particular kind of slice of America. I feel like the Women's March was like a wide swath of people from different cities and different regions of.
And am I right? There was worldwide marches too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There were marches all over the world. Yeah, but particularly in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like I'm saying this in a good way. It felt like a suburban activist activity.
No, I agree.
Meaning that it's not like just college kids or just anarchists. It was like
there were a lot of moms and families out there.
Soccer moms, like, you know, everyday people saying what they wanted to say.
Yep.
And I love that. Our country was founded on protest, and every leap forward was done through protest and through rebellion. When Reagan was president, the thing is I'm old enough to remember other administrations that were seen in the exact same way. I mean, people look back at Reagan now and say like, oh yeah, he was this cute old guy. No, punk rock essentially emerged. I mean, it emerged in the 70s, but became a thing under Reagan, and everyone universally hated Reagan.
Wow.
You know, it was a lot of the things that happened in the 80s that were good were in response to Reagan and conservatism,
Wow.
and white maleism and all that kind of stuff.
It's funny because, you know, I think I've said this before in the podcast, looking from the outside in, I was in Colombia at the time. I always looked up to the United States. I wanted to live here. My mom lived here. It seemed organized, safe. All the best music came from here. The movies were coming from here. It was all like Back to the Future in California on skateboards. And it was like, wow, DeLoreans on the streets. The best snacks, everything, the candy, everything. And to me, Reagan was part of that.
Yeah.
Reagan, MTV. So I looked up to Reagan. I was like, that's what a president is like. That's what I want. I want to go there to that magical land with no problems.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's some truth to that, I suppose. But at the same time, a lot of people hated Reagan.
Yeah.
You know, it feels now very similar to the way it felt. Although Reagan was more liked. People, particularly when he first started running, he was very popular. I think he won like almost every state.
Yeah.
Some states, I think like Washington included, the last time they voted Republican for the president was for Reagan.
Well, and there's some things that when you hear him say these speeches now, they sound almost democratic.
Right.
You know, he's like, he would say things that would sound compassionate and empathetic about certain groups. Like they wanted to do immigration reform. They did immigration reform.
Yeah.
They did amnesty for, I don't know, millions. Like they did a crazy thing that today would never, not even Obama would dream to do such a thing, right?
Right.
But then, of course, they did a lot of wars and hidden wars and a lot of shenanigans.
And they were extremely slow to react to HIV.
Yeah.
And other, you know, things.
Socially, it was very,
nature.
but it was the 80s. So,
and so the things that I am hearing from liberals now reminds me very much of the 80s, and good things came out of the 80s. Good movements, you know, strong movements, you know, LGBTQIA rights and activism had a pretty big push in the 80s. And other kinds of art and other kinds of rebellion, grunge in a way was born in the 80s. You know,
that's true.
The roots of it came from rebellion.
Yeah.
And I predict I hope for a similar progression.
Yeah. And one thing that's useful right now in that regard is when Reagan was in office, there was no internet. There was no quick dissemination of information. There was pretty much like you'll watch the night news and read a newspaper, right? So right now we have like up to the minute, like Obama is, or what's his name, is signing some new decree. They just met to do such and such. Someone just leaked information. Like it's up to the minute. Now that's both bad, but also has its good side, which is that, well, it's kind of hard for them to keep secrets right now.
Right. I personally think that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing for me. And I actually have told everyone around me to stop talking about those updates.
I see.
Because it's only stress for me. Because what am I going to do about it?
Right. Well, you can frowny face it.
Yeah. I have to wait 4 years to vote.
Yeah. Well, 2 years.
And 2 years, sure. And I will.
Yeah.
I've never missed a vote. I've voted every primary. I vote every legislative action. Ever since I had the right, I vote, and I will. But until then, I can literally get 15 enraging posts.
Yeah.
And I actually avoid Facebook now because because again, everyone's political now, and so there's all these political things on Facebook, and I'm like, you know, I'm with you, but I don't see the point in me knowing this right now. I mean, what am I supposed to do about this, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to, if it were more like, okay, we're organizing, here's the times we need to call our state senators and push on something.
Yeah.
Here's the votes that are coming up or whatever it is. I could see, here's the local issues that we need to, you know, kind of gather around. But you're right that when it's just, oh my gosh, another stab in the heart. Oh my gosh, another stab in the heart. Oh my gosh, another stab in the heart.
Yeah. And a lot of it is actually just people being mean to each other, just like making fun of people's outfits or their hair or the way that people stand or something. And I'm just like, that's not, why are we talking about that stuff? It's not important. And when it was reversed, people making fun of Obama's jeans, didn't you not like that? So let's not play that game.
Yep.
Let's stick to the things that actually have an impact on our real lives, policy changes, budget, real decisions. Let's not focus on hair. Okay. Well, that does it for that episode, Berto. It's been a while since we've just indulged ourselves.
Gripes of wrath.
One person on the survey wrote in and said, Kirk, sometimes it sounds like you're just talking into a microphone. Well, this was one of those episodes. All right, that does it. Please take care of yourself because
you deserve it.